John, you watch this IPO pipeline very closely. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Kelly. It is true that some did not perform as well, but that sheer volume of almost 400 IPOs that did print, generating about 142 billion in proceeds, was quite significant. And even if we do revert back to the mean and have like a lower bracket of 200, 250 IPOs, there's still a lot of household names out there, Kelly, that are going to generate a lot of demand. One great example that's out there at a current $140 billion valuation that's lurking potentially in 2022 is ByteDance, the parent of TikTok. My children, everyone's children uses TikTok religiously. A lot of the other fintech and digital banking companies are going to generate a lot of demand regardless of the size of that is printed.
One complaint seems to be that there were simply too many IPOs, which is kind of funny to me because we had, sort of decried the lack of them in the years prior, right? So when there's not enough IPOs, we all say these companies are private for too long and all the VCs are making money. But when there's too many IPOs, then we're upset because they don't perform that well.
Yeah, and you can probably credit that to a bit of COVID and the sheer volume that passed through, again, like almost doubling 220 or so in last year to the 400 printed regular way IPOs to video links. And it used to be everyone had to show up at Midtown, and Kelly was outside reporting about what was taking place inside and the message being delivered. And now there is no excuse to generate demand and indication of interest from coast to coast internationally from sending out a video link to get everybody in line with the thesis of that issuing company. And what is even more remarkable, that sheer volume, because of probably the efficiencies and just like the last segment of being more productive because of the technology, is the blank check companies outside of the regular way IPOs that printed this year. Over 600 blank check companies, and they're averaging about 250 million in proceeds a pop.
Wow.
Really significant volumes there outside of regular way IPOs. So we saw over this year, to reflect in 2021, over 1,000 equity capital markets new issuance IPO events.
Wow.
Pretty remarkable.
Let's restate this. So over 1,000 new issuance equity capital events. So whether it's an IPO or a SPAC, a direct listing, I'm sure I'm forgetting some at this point. Is it too much?
You know, I think that going back to your comments about the performance, maybe potentially. However, the capital markets is capable, and the capital is there, and the demand is there. I do think we will revert back. We won't see maybe 1,000, but still, even if we revert back to the mean, we're going to see north of 500 in both regular way and SPAC issuance, blank check companies. And there's a lot of success stories out there. Look at Rivian and their backers. Look at the successful Churchill series SPACs and the Lucid Motors that have come to market. As long as we still have success stories, we're going to have a lot of demand.
Is the SPAC here to stay, or are investors feeling burned?
Yes, the investors, what's really interesting and remarkable about SPACs, not just because they went and they've had growth of, we did 59 or so, 50 in 2019, and we did 600 plus this last year. The investors' money goes to a trust. So even if they reach their 18 or 24 months window and they do not find a successful target in de-SPAC, there's plenty of notes out there from research analysts that those monies are staying within that asset class system. So even if some SPACs do not find an acquisition company and they don't de-SPAC, like some of the success stories we've seen, I feel like that money is going to stay in the SPAC market for that asset class. So we will see a continuation of SPACs. I don't think we'll print 600, but on the low end, 250 to 300 coming up in 2022.
Wow.
Kelly, we're working at Drexel Hamilton with our clients. We're marshaling new issuance companies, preparing them for their IPO alongside other co-managers. And it's going to be a very active first half of the year based on our outlook.